For years, there's been a push to give rural EMS providers the funding they need. And finally, bipartisan legislation out of St. Paul will do just that for Minnesota. Sophia Jernander spoke with EMS personnel about what this funding will mean for the community now and into the future.
For years, rural EMS providers have struggled with a lack of funding. While providers in larger metro areas have received attention from the state, those in small towns have been left to fend for themselves.
The smaller communities who have a real hard time recruiting people to help or to volunteer needed more assistance. And I think everybody can agree, if you call 911 and need medical service, there should be someone there to respond.
But finally, the wait is over. Minnesota has passed an EMS funding bill, which aims to solve many of the problems rural EMTs have faced over the years. The bill consists of a $24 million emergency aid package, which will be distributed to ambulance services in rural communities across southern Minnesota.
I'm just glad that everybody could come together and have a step forward to help out these people, mainly volunteers.
The bill also includes a Sprint Medic pilot program.
We'll have a paramedic that can help assist out in certain counties with responding to ambulance calls, right? And hopefully, get these patients a higher level of care quicker.
In the long run, providers say this funding bill is just a Band-Aid on the issue, and they are pushing for EMS to be considered an essential service.
Police departments are considered essential services. These are city departments that are cities fund them, and EMS in Minnesota is not an essential service.
But they say this is a big step forward for rural EMS providers, and it sets the stage for great things to come. In Mankato, Sophia Jernander, KEYC News Now.
Rural ambulance services can apply for emergency aid starting September 16th. It will then be distributed at the end of December.